Hey guys, Charles with Clacker Tactical here, and this is going to be my goals, GOA's Gun Owners of America Leadership Summit overview of all the cool stuff that I seen at that event. Here's Stellar Arms. They made some premium, really cool rifles with the gas for suppressors built through the charging handle with larger ports to go out the sides. Great. They shot well, no gas in your face, super cool. They were very pricey, but very good looking as well. Next, we had Tier 1 Tactical. They had some really nice built ARs with fully MP controls, very top notch built stuff. Really liked the ergonomics. They looked cool. They felt cool. Really liked these rifles a lot. The triggers were also really nice. They had a single stage trigger that was probably the best trigger for a non-FRS trigger, which we'll go into later on, that I seen at the show. That was fantastic. Can't wait to get one. Of course, there's One Horse showing off their cool stuff. Did not get a lot of their stuff on camera, unfortunately. But moved on. Next to him was Barrett. That was my first time actually shooting any 50 cals that day. Had a blast. The M82A1 lived up to all the hype. It's great. The suppressor on it was 50 BMG suppressed is really just something else. I did not know, and that's a shame to me, that they made ARs now for quite some time. But one of the things I focused on looking at goals was finding as many companies that had fully ambi lowers on their ARs. Barrett was one of them. It seems to be a very common thing now that AR companies are starting to do, which I'm really happy that they're doing, because really in the AR world, what innovation is really left to do, except for chambering them in unique cartridges? That's really about all I got. But here, the guy at Barrett showing us how their ambi bolt catch works. I liked their controls. They were slim and out of the way. And of course, Firearms Direct Club brought a technical to range day, which was just awesome. Even though it was semi-auto, it was still really cool. Spent some time at the P80 booth. They had some really cool new concepts for 80% Glock style pistols. Can't wait to get my first kit. This is a really cool way to do DIY at home PMS. Next, we had POF. I did not see them at range day. I probably skipped over them, but they had a really cool setup at the show day. Really great looking rifles. They've been making precision parts for years. I've been loving their stuff. But they also had an ampi controls. I did not quite like how their ampi controls were tucked up in the trigger guard. Some people might like them. I didn't quite like them as much. A little bit harder to use, but still great concept and great rifles. Swung by the Flux Defense booth. They had some of the new Raiders and chassis and new concepts out. Those are really cool. I can't wait to get my hands on some of the newer ones, play around with some holster ideas, even though they already have one. I want to make my own, so hopefully I can get that soon. Right next to them was Snake Staff Systems, and you all know we already carry their ETQs. I love them. Been using them for a little over 2 years now. They have some new products. There's like dedicated mag carriers, some different style designs for their pouches. Had to stop at the Wolfpack Armory booth because that A1 Mutant hybrid was really cool. I wish that they were still in production. And of course, they had a fully functional Dishka. Here we had the Triggered Company, and they had a match grade cassette style FRS trigger, and it was fantastic for both semi and fun mode. Probably one of the better of the FRS systems that we've seen at Goals. Here we have KRC, and they make some of the best 1911s. I would argue the best 1911s. They are pricey, though. Some of them were up to $12,000. But, man, were they great looking. And they're also workhorses. Some of the models that they showed us had 10,000 plus rounds through them, and you couldn't even tell. They looked like they were brand new, and they are wonderful pieces of art. Great work. So here we had Shallow Tech, and these are the best P365 and 320 grip modules I have seen and handled. They're fully modular. They're all steel construction, and they are fantastic. They felt great in the hand. They shot great. Can't wait to get our hands on some of these to get you guys some holster support for those. Here we saw NAA Arms, which, if you know, they're known for their little Derringer style pistols. They had a whole bunch of little, small, compact 22s that also looked like belt buckles, which is really cool. They also had this little guy that folded up and it looked like a little pocket knife for a flashlight in your pocket. Of course, I fumbled with it for my first time, but it's very effective, very concealable, very discreet. So therefore, very cool idea. I like that a lot. Next, we jumped it up a little bit with their somewhat big brother, which is the Bond Arms Cyclops. These things were little hand cannons, with one being in 50 AE and the other in 45-7.
The name's Bond.
When I say I was actually kind of worried to shoot it, I'm not lying. I was a little worried, but man, it was fun. So here, High Point had all the M81 across everything. So they had their HP-15, their JXP-10, and the High Point carbine, all in the wonderful M81 Woodland camo. Our last stop was at Shadow Systems, and they had some very, very nice built rifles, and they are building every part of these folks, from the handguard to the receiver. I mean, it was their grips, their stock, very, very neat looking rifles, and of course, full ambi controls. Then they had their AX-10 pistol lineup. This thing felt great. Trigger was by far one of the best factory pistol triggers I've ever felt. And of course, yeah, it's Shadow Systems. So of course, it's going to be fantastic. But this thing just felt great. Of course, we had to stop by and see our friends at Core Essentials. We love their belts. We sell lots of belts, and we're going to be adding a lot of their new equipment, including this, the new KLS quick detach system. So we are going to be getting some of these in to show you guys, but this is a fantastic quick lock system.
Hook up to pretty much anything but
he showed it to me, and I instantly was like, yep, we're getting that. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be getting the KLS and some other accessories here soon. Lastly, this is a family event. Kids Zone was great. Our kids enjoyed being there. They couldn't wait to get back there. There was story time, Minuteman talks, gun safety classes, prizes, games. It was great stuff for the kids. So next time, if you're going to come to this event, definitely bring your kids to this event. Well, that wraps it up. That is just a quick, brief overview of all the highlighted things that we've seen at the Goals event. I will go more into depth into a lot of these topics, but for now, we'll catch you all later. And as always, carry with confidence.